it is stated that Sayyidina Musab bin Umair radiyallahu ta'ala, along with Sayyidina Asad bin Zurara radiyallahu ta'ala, traveled in the divine path and reached a garden of the tribe of Bani Zafar, where they sat on a well, namely Maraq. People from the tribe of Bani Aslam gathered around him. The most powerful chiefs of the tribes were Sa'd bin Mu'az and Usayd bin Hudair, who had not yet entered the fold of Islam. Sa'd bin Mu'az was the first cousin, i.e. a son of the maternal aunt of Sayyidina Asad bin Zurara. Sa'd bin Mu'az sent Usayd bin Hudair, instructed him, go, rebuke those two preachers and stop them who have come to mislead our credulous people. Nauzubillah. Therefore, Usayd bin Hudair picked up a spear and he reached where they were present. And as soon as he arrived, he started speaking ill of them and threatened them. And he said to them, if your life is dear, go away from here. Now the two companions that were there, they started to initiate the individual effort, the infradi koshish. Sayyidina Musab bin Umair radiyallahu ta'ala said kindly, said and affectionately, please sit down and just listen to what we have to say. Just listen to what we have to say. If you find it appropriate, then accept it. And if you do not like it, we will not force you. So these nice words, these gentle words, because a person had now come to him and was coming with a spear in his hand, right, and was telling him to go away, was literally abusing him. But in response to this, what was the response? The response was, please sit down, listen to us, let us speak to you. If you like what we say, all well and good. If you don't, then we're not going to force you. And this response, these kind words had an effect on the person. And these nice words had an impact on Usayd bin Hudair, and he sunk his spear into the ground and he sat beside them. Sayyidina Musab bin Umair radiyallahu ta'ala presented him with Madani pearls about Islam, reading out the Holy Quran. And this reading out the Holy Quran and telling him about Islam, this created a revolution inside his heart. And he had the honor of embracing Islam there and then. And having embraced Islam, subhanAllah, he said to the other people that Sa'd bin Mu'az will come here shortly. And if he accepts your advice, my entire tribe will accept it. I am sending him to you. Saying this, he went straight away to the place where Sa'd bin Mu'az radiyallahu ta'ala was present and convinced him to meet the two preachers. And as soon as Sa'd bin Mu'az arrived, he also started speaking ill of them. And he also had a spear in his hand. And he also was threatening them. And again, Sayyidina Musab bin Umair radiyallahu ta'ala persuaded him and kindly and affectionately to sit down and listen to what he had to say. And he also put his spear in the ground and sat beside them. Sayyidina Musab bin Umair radiyallahu ta'ala presented him also with Madani pearls about the perfection of Islam. And this had a profound impact on his heart. And Sa'd bin Mu'az, he also accepted Islam. Having become Muslim, Sayyidina Sa'd bin Mu'az radiyallahu ta'ala returned to his tribe. And he said to them, what do you think of me? And they all replied, you are our chief. And you are far-sighted as well as a perfect person in amongst us. You are a far-sighted person. And he replied that it is haram for me to talk to your men and women unless you believe in Allah Azza wa Jal and believe in His Rasul. And the narrator said that by Allah Azza wa Jal, all the men and all the women of the tribe became Muslim by the time that day had passed. Two companions of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that are traveling in the way of Allah Azza wa Jal. They're traveling on this divine path. Why? To spread the deen of Islam, to invite people into the fold of Islam. And when they got there, what were they met with? They were met with spears. They were met with angry people. People that were abusing them, people that were willing to attack them. People that were willing to kill them. But what did they do? How did they defend themselves? Did they defend themselves with spears? Did they defend themselves with swords? Did they defend themselves with arrows? No. They defended themselves with kind and gentle words. And these kind and gentle words had an impact on the people in front of them. And there's a message for us as well, viewers of Madani Channel. That nowadays when we travel in the way of Allah Azza wa Jal, when we travel on a Madani Qafla and we go to different towns, Alhamdulillah, I've been blessed that I've had the opportunity to travel on a few Madani Qaflas, and whenever I've travelled, I've never been met with spears. I've never been met with swords. I've never been met with guns or any people there that are willing to kick me out the masjid. Alhamdulillah, whenever we've met, majority of cases, people meet you with flowers, they bless you with food, they ask you to come to the house, to do dua for them, to do dhamm on the children. This is the respect that we are given nowadays. But this respect that we are given nowadays is because of these pious predecessors who went out in the path of Allah Azza wa Jal, and they faced these difficulties so that the deen of Islam could be spread. And this was the passion that they had, that they called people towards righteousness by means of individual effort. And the effort that they presented in front of them was their own character. That these pious people of the past, they not only had the knowledge of the deen, but they also had this knowledge, this skill of passing it on to other people as well. And they also, when they were talking to influential people, to these leaders of the tribes, they also knew how to talk to them as well. They were not influenced by their status. They were not influenced by their wealth. They were not influenced by their position. They stuck their ground. They stuck their ground, and their mission was to spread the deen of Islam.
We love Madani Channel. We love Madani Channel. We love Madani Channel.